Welcome everybody to the HubSpot user group. This is our webinar series from SEO to AEO. And today we're going to talk about the AI content trap and how to avoid it. As people connect, make sure you guys introduce yourself, tell us your name, where you're connecting from, and your company, your position, and we'll keep getting those dings from people connecting. So make sure you introduce yourselves. And we're going to start in about a minute. In the meantime, make sure you let us know who you are, where you're connecting from. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Having this click, I know some comments are coming from some bots here. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Let's get this party started. So, fellas in the chat, like I said, we are Nextiny Marketing. I'm Gabriel Madrugli. I'm the CEO and founder of Nextiny Marketing. We are a HubSpot solution partner for the last, we've been in business for 24 years. I started this business 24 years ago, almost 25. Here's my information. If you want to connect in any way, I'm on LinkedIn, send me an email. I'm here to help. And we do everything HubSpot websites, HubSpot implementation, marketing, sales and services, alignment. And of course, we've been an SEO and content marketing agency for 20 years, 24 years. And a HubSpot partner for the last 13 years. And we run marketing campaigns. We do marketing sales alignment, SEO, and of course, AEO, which is what we're doing today here. If you guys, let's mute everybody here to make sure that we don't have any noises. I'm going to share here a couple of things before we start. We have an SEO guide, SEO to AEO guide that you can follow. And we have a whole 90-day plan that you can follow on that guide, download it on our website for free. And we also have a special for our AEO audit where we can go and do all of this for you, do a full audit, 20 hours of work, 2 months. And then at the end of that audit, you know exactly what to change, what you need to start doing, your marketing strategy for loop marketing and AEO. Let us know if we can help in any other ways. So, of course, this is a webinar series, and we run 2 a month. I'm going to share right here the next 2 events, April 8th and April 22nd. The next one is how to build a scalable AI content engine loop marketing. And the one on April 22nd is how to run your own AEO audit. That I'm super excited about that one. We're running a lot of AEO audits for our clients, new clients, and we're going to teach you how to do it yourself. So in the agenda today, we're going to talk about how AI is redefining client acquisition. I do this in every single one of our events. It's like 5 slides, 2 minutes, make sure everybody's on the same page so then we can go move forward. But it's a review of that. We'll talk about the AI content trap, how AI evaluates content, how to avoid the content trap, and we'll talk about how you can get results and show you some of the results that we're getting. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please let me know. I'm going to answer as much as possible. And then at the end, we'll have a Q&A time too. So how is AI redefining client acquisition? Very quickly, search is not links anymore. It's answers. People ask ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude questions, and they get direct answers, and they have full conversations without you. So SEO is not dead, it's evolving, right? So how do we stay visible in an answer-first world? Things are changing. 60% of Google searches are ending up in 0-click, which means they're not getting on your website. But don't freak out. Google's still 210 times bigger than ChatGPT. Now, 70% of B2B buyers complete their decision journey before they talk to sales. So how do you control the narrative on what's being said or how AI recommends your company or not, right? Like, how do we control that narrative? Now, the good news about this is that even though AI is becoming your new homepage, and people might not end up on your website, the people that come from AI close at 3, 4, 5 times higher conversion rate than people that come from Google and other sources. So this is good news. This is a new source of potential opportunities that turn into clients at a higher rate. We've seen this over and over again. This is a good example. 4,000 visits from Google, 42 leads, 1 client versus 90 visits from AI, 2 leads, 1 client. The same amount of clients with a lot less effort because they're coming as higher quality leads instead of just quantity. Now, the most important thing, if you take one thing from today, is that AI didn't just change discovery. AI changed the whole buyer journey. So people are using AI to validate you, compare you with other people, making the decision at the end of the day. They're about to sign the contract and they go back and ask for pricing and competitors. They're doing the whole conversation, one long conversation about what problem they have, understanding the problem, learning the potential solutions, comparing vendors, all of that in AI. So you need to control that narrative as much as possible, especially about your brand, about your solution, about your name, because people are going to be asking about you and your company. If you don't control that narrative, then AI will find the information and just give them whatever they find. And that's what we're talking about on these sessions. Being real is one of the most important things you can do. I talk about humans helping humans all the time. As much as possible, run webinars, talk to other people, connect with humans, help other humans, get questions from real people like I'm doing today here. You're going to ask me questions, I'm going to answer them, and that's going to become my content to become the trustworthy source of AI visibility, brand visibility, and AEO that we are, because we're doing this on a regular basis. So multi-channel is more important than ever. We'll talk about that and how you need to become the source all across the internet, and video and human connection and webinars and podcasts and all these things that are humans helping humans is the fuel of all these things. And that's what answer engine optimization is all about, is visibility, trust, and consistency across the internet. So that's a little review of how AI changed client acquisition and kind of like the basis of everything we're going to talk about today. If you have any questions, please put it in the chat. Let me know, and we'll do Q&A later too. So the AI content trap is all about people creating content from old content, from AI generated content that was created from old content. So this is the joke is old content allows you to create AI content generated from old content, and then there's AI content generated from old AI generated content, which allows you to create AI content generated from old AI generated content generated from all AI generated content. So I don't know if you're catching my drift here, but this is just regurgitation of the same crap all over the internet. So if you go to AI, if you go to ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, whatever you're using, and you say, write me an article about this, what AI is going to go to old stuff that other people said in the past and figure that out and try to write something that sounds like what you're asking. Does that mean that is real? No. AI hallucinates and creates new stuff that doesn't exist all the time. Does that mean that is relevant? No. This is coming from old content from other people. Does this mean that this is valuable? Probably no, because your opinion is not there. Your value, your expertise, your experience is not there. So people continue to do this. And we hear these crazy stories of people that are like, yeah, I went to the AI and asked AI to write me 30 articles and I posted one every day. And now we have 30 more articles, and quantity is definitely not what we're looking for. So AI didn't just change search, it changed content supply. You can create content as fast as you can write a sentence, right? So Google doesn't care if you use AI. This is the other side of the story. People are like, but Google doesn't care if you use AI generated content. They said it. Google said it. We don't care if you're using generated content from AI. We care that it's valuable, that is high quality. And that's the problem. Most of the content that you're creating from AI over and over again is not high quality, valuable content, because it's not coming from real people doing real things. It's coming from other old experiences from other people. So yes, you could trick the internet and you can trick AI models by creating a bunch of content, but technology catches up to all these things. The people that are generating 100 articles and posting them tomorrow might have a peak of content or traffic or citations on AI, but technology catches up to all these things. And what's happening is AI is not creating citations from the latest or the people that create the most, is creating, it's finding consensus on what brands are putting out there. So what brands are doing now is they're using AI to rewrite existing content and publishing generic best practices and saying the same thing as their competitors. So the result is they're not building authority, they're blending in. So if your content could have been written by anybody, then AI will pick anyone but you. So at the end of the day, this kills SEO and AEO. AI doesn't reward volume. AI looks for clear answers, unique perspectives, consistent signals, trusted sources. And that's done by doing the real thing, creating real content from you, from your opinions, from your expertise, humans helping humans. And if your content is like anyone else's content, AI is not going to use it as the resource. The biggest issues by creating content this way is you get generic bland outputs. You get factual errors. Like I was saying, it hallucinates all the time. Literally, sometimes you ask, does HubSpot have this feature? And sometimes it invents the feature, right? Like you have to keep in mind that you need to check the content that comes from AI. So the best way to create content using AI is to create it from real expertise and experience in videos and podcasts and things that you do to avoid that issue. You get poor structure, you get low quality, and you get quantity over quantity, right? Quality. What we're seeing in some of the tests, we're running audits on a lot of our clients and new clients. We're selling a lot of these audits to help people understand where they are and what gaps they have in their content and all that stuff. And what we're seeing is that content is being picked by, old content. You might say, well, but I wrote some articles that talk about this. Yeah, but if AI doesn't think this is trustworthy, they're going to use another source. They're going to use a video from 11 years ago. Like in this example, we found one of our clients was using, when you ask about the company, it was actually showing the citation, the source of the content was coming from a video from 11 years ago, which had wrong messaging, the old name of the company, all these different things that are not helpful. So AI chooses what's consistent, not just what's newest, but also even if you create new content, if you create new content that is not valuable, AI won't pick it up either. They will find it somewhere else. They will go find a Reddit conversation about you instead of you talking about your company. Any questions so far? I've heard Google may not index your content if it's mostly AI. Is that just because it's AI or consider low quality content? So great question, Taylor. Google went up, back and forth on this thing. Years ago, when AI started creating crappy content before ChatGPT, Google was like, we're not going to index any of this content because it's AI generated. Then when ChatGPT came out, everybody started using ChatGPT to write content. So the question is, how do you truly understand what's AI and what's not AI? Yeah, there's some things that AI used to do, and I'll talk about, testing and verifying content in a second. A lot of these tools are not very, very reliable because it's really hard to find what's AI generated and what's not. And by the way, everybody's writing with AI. I'm writing with AI. You go to my blogs, I didn't write one word. Most of my blogs are AI written, but they're not AI generated. They're AI written, AI assisted content. I'm writing the blog with my videos, with my webinars, with my content, with my transcript from the events, with your questions like this one, with my answer to that question. This is not AI generated content. So Google will index AI written content because everybody's writing with AI. They won't index 100% AI generated content that is the same regurgitation of some other article you found online, right? And they know that the article that this was sourced from exists, and they know where it is, and they know all these things. So great question, Taylor. So how does AI evaluate content? So first of all, the difference between Google and AI, Google knows things, and I'll go very quickly through this. Google knows things. It has database of things. It's trying to become the source of truth. AI doesn't know anything. AI just works like a brain, and I'm doing air quotes here, it works like a brain where it tries to connect concepts and tokens and words. Let's simplify it into words. So the way it works is, if you ask what's the capital of France, AI will try to find what word is most probably connected to these words. So most of the time, when the capital in France and what is words or tokens are together, the word Paris is together with those. So the most probable thing is Paris, right? That's how AI, in an oversimplification, of course, that's how AI works and gives you answers. So I always give the example of, like, if someone asks me, how do galaxies or the universe work? And you start saying, oh, well, there's galaxies because of gravity, and you have like suns in the middle, and you have the planets going around because of, so I'm saying suns, planets, gravity. I'm connecting words together and then trying to explain concepts around them. That's kind of how AI works. So it tries to find consensus over the internet and over the information that it has to give you the answer. What's important is that the consensus comes from multiple questions. A great place to do this, if you use Perplexity, one of the AI models. Perplexity, when you ask a question, it actually shows you which subqueries, which other questions AI asked about this. So you will see that when you ask one question, it'll ask multiple questions that are related to it to try to find and put together an answer from all these questions. So by understanding that AI will do subqueries, it will ask related questions about the question you ask. That means you can become the citation for all those related questions. And that's how you can become, by using multi-channel promotions of your content and using real content, the answer or part of the answer for the main question you want to be cited with. So AI looks for consensus over the internet when it finds all these different questions. And what you need to understand is all of this is connected to entities. Entities are the nouns, the who you are, what's your company, what's your name, what services you provide, what industries you work with, you know, what solutions you provide. So I'm Gabriel Marguglio. I'm a person. I'm the CEO and founder of Nextiny Marketing. That's a company. We do marketing services. We are HubSpot experts. We do video production, and we do AEO and SEO. So a question one of my clients might ask is how webinars help with AEO, or how to use HubSpot to do answer engine optimization. And the way to show up in those answers is by becoming the source connected to those entities. So when AI is trying to put together the answer, the entities are very clear. So it looks for clarity of explanation. It looks for structure formatting. That's why schema, structured data behind your website is very important. We have a whole piece of content about schema. We can talk about it if you have questions. Repetition across sources, topical depth, authority signals like videos and social posts where people are interacting, humans helping humans, reviews and credibility from your clients and your partners and things like that. Video transcripts. Again, if you're doing a webinar, you're teaching, you're educating, you're working with the community, you're helping, and consistency across channels. When we think about what is good AI content, it means that it's not AI written content from prompts. It's not rewriting what already exists. It's AI assisted content. It's creating what only you know with your experience, with your expertise, with your opinion. Your opinion matters. What you've done matters. It's incredible because, like I'm going to say 13 years ago, one of a HubSpot, we started in the HubSpot partner program. And I was like, what kind of blog articles should we talk about with inbound and HubSpot and all these new changes? And this amazing guy at HubSpot Academy, we've been working with him for a long time. Long story short, he said, dude, you talk about what you do. You talk every Friday, meet with your team, talk about what happened in the week, and write articles about that, what you've done with your clients, how you help your clients, their challenges in their industry. And that's going to just continue to If we all did that for the last 13 years, we would all be AEO experts, right? So at the end of the day, what's unique about you that AI cannot replicate, that AI cannot know? What's your opinion on things? This is very important. And that has everything to do with EEAT, which is something that we were doing for SEO for Google rankings, which is expertise, experience, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. This is very, very important. That means you create clear questions and answers. You have strong entity signals connected to those entities. You create human tone and experience, and you structure formats like FAQs, transcripts, videos. All these things are important. So going back to your question is, how do we test AI generated versus AI assisted content? There are tools out there, like ZeroGPT is a good tool that I like to use every once in a while. And if you just copy paste the text, it'll actually tell you what's the probable percentage of this being generated by AI. So I'll put the link here from ZeroGPT. So zerogpt.com is the website. So is this a good resource? It's good. It's not great because these tools are not incredibly reliable, because sometimes, my content is 100% AI written and it shows as just 14% AI generated because it's coming from me. But then another piece of content might be ranking like high, like 77% or 80% or 90%. Now, if your content is marked on ZeroGPT most of the time at 90%, 100%, 95%, then you have a problem. This is content that's easily recognizable as AI content. So this is where you can use these kind of tools. You can test easily your blog articles that your agency is creating for you or your marketers are creating for you and saying, hey, we need to create more depth to this, more opinions from this, more expertise into this, so AI can trust us and not recognize this as 100% AI generated content. Now, the best way to do this is not using those tools, is testing directly. Going to ChatGPT and asking, what is the best company for this solution? How is this solution working with this methodology? Going to ChatGPT and Claude and Perplexity and asking, your target audience questions and see if your brand shows up, and then check which sources AI cites and understand the gap where you don't show up, compare it with your competitors, and then track improvements as you create content that fills those gaps. That's the kind of work we do when we do AEO audits. Is we test a lot of these things with tools and manually to make sure we have a picture of where you show up, where you don't show up, connected to your entities, to your services, your industries, and then go from there and decide, how do we fill the gap of this specific question? The AEO grader from HubSpot is another great tool that you should use to understand your AI brand visibility. I'm going to share the link here. And now HubSpot has a AEO strategy tool internally that allows you to track brand visibility internally with multiple different LLMs and large language models. Any questions? I know this is a lot and I still have some to go, but any questions, guys? How many of you are using ChatGPT or any other LLMs to create content for your company? ChatGPT, mostly Claude. Why Claude, April? Tell me more. You want to come off mute? Tell us why we use Claude. Gemini is getting better. Yes, Luis.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, April.
I just find that the writing quality just seems to be a little bit better.
What are you writing about? What's the industry?
Procurement and supply chain.
Perfect. So more technical stuff, B2B stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, we've seen the same thing. Claude has a different style of writing. It also depends on how you train it. ChatGPT can get to those levels, but you have to train a little bit more. I think Claude does a better job of when you start working on it. Is that your experience?
Yeah, and I'll use ChatGPT for other task and tools or sometimes Perplexity.
Hmm.
It just depends on what I'm doing, but I just found that at least for our audience or for my content, it seems to do a better job forming it or sounding like how I want it to sound.
Definitely, definitely, and it has more of a scientific process to it too. I like Claude a lot, and a lot of people use Claude because they program with it, and there's so many other things that you can do. So thanks for sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Good stuff. And I see a lot of Geminis here. Gemini, it's surprising us all. It's gotten much better, and I think they weren't competing with ChatGPT and Claude at all. And all of a sudden, Gemini just like went behind, went on top of all of them and is doing incredible things. That's why HubSpot uses multiple different models when it's using Breeze. So Mark mentioned using Breeze sometimes. Breeze is an incredible tool inside HubSpot because it uses OpenAI, Claude, and Gemini, and it actually allows you to create content and all these things that you do with ChatGPT, but it has all the context of your CRM. So it can do so much more because it can find those gaps. It can do so much more. Alex, Claude is incredible. The others are good. Gemini is great for images and YouTube. Yes, Gemini's videos are great too. HubSpot Breeze it's amazing. We're using it more and more to kind of go deep into finding CRM nuggets, like golden nuggets, and saying, okay, what are the questions that your top salespeople are asking, or what are the questions that from the last 10 deals that were closed from conversations, sales conversations, tell me the questions that actually got people to close, or tell me what gaps of content I need to create from those questions, or from, customer service tickets, like what are the questions we're getting constantly so we can create content around that, real questions from real humans, right? Like, very important stuff. So HubSpot is adding layers of intelligence with AI. But what's interesting is that now that you have AI embedded inside your CRM, all that data becomes the context of AI, and you don't have to train it for that. It's all trained from what HubSpot has inside. So it's amazing. Thank you guys. Thanks guys for sharing. So let's talk about how to avoid the trap, right? Like what this means to marketers is that we need to create content in a multi-channel way. You need to work on your website, your blogs, videos, webinars, social media, reviews, mentions, industry websites, forums, communities on your industry. It's all about controlling the narrative everywhere AI learns from, and the visibility is presence across channels. It's not just your website and your blogs. You need to make sure that you train AI from everything. So you need to go from content production to authority building, right? And you need to create original insights and real examples and sales conversations. It's not enough to just write a blog and put a bunch of numbers as stats. That helps, but it's not enough. Customer questions. You are asking me questions, I'm answering them, and that helps, right? Your best content is what your team already knows, is what you're doing every day, what separates you. And the easiest way, I'm not going to say the only way, the easiest way to do all of this and do it fast, do it in loops with loop marketing, and running it with AI is running loops with webinars. That's what we do, and we try to encourage all of our clients to do, is to create webinar series, run webinars on a regular basis, record everything. And then one webinar turns into 20 assets, social clips, blogs, posts for Reddit, for posts for LinkedIn, all kinds of videos everywhere. And then video becomes the AEO engine, right? Like videos are most authentic signal. It's you. It's definitely you. That cannot be faked, especially in this reality with my English as a second language, with my raspy voice today because I ran a webinar this morning with the bootcamp. Like that's me. That's definitely me. And then you create trust with this because you're helping people. You're helping other humans, right? From video, you can get the transcript. You can get the real language, natural questions, human tone. This is what AI trusts, right? I always share this prompt that I created through prompt engineering trying to find the best way to turn a webinar into a blog post and other sources. And after multiple attempts, this is the kind of prompt that I use when I take the transcript from a webinar like this one. And then I give the slides and the transcript and some other blog articles and all of that with this prompt. It'll ask me what's the audience, what kind of tone, et cetera, et cetera. And then it starts writing, and you can use this kind of prompts to create so much more and do it fast and create content for every single one of those channels that you need to work on. And then reframe your website to make sure that everything you're doing is also AEO friendly. Like your website needs to be SEO friendly. You need to use FAQs all over, like on your service pages, on your blogs. You need to run the schema, make sure that the programming in the background is right and that is mobile friendly and speed and all these things. You can use methodologies like the Ask You Answer and StoryBrand. Your website is still, even though it's not used as the only thing, it still needs to be the hub of everything. That's where HubSpot comes from. When you say prompt, do you mean what you type, everything you just shared into AI? Yes, Melanie, great question. So prompt is, I'm going to go back to that slide. Prompt is what you write to AI when you ask it to do something. And a lot of people are putting a bunch of stuff on the prompt. The best way to do a prompt is to iterate until you get a prompt like this one, which is like, as you can see, I'm literally would copy paste this whole thing. It'll say, you are an expert content strategist. When I'm saying you, the AI, you, ChatGPT, are an expert content strategist and editor that specializes in turning spoken transcripts into high quality, engaging blog articles. And I want human flow, and I want SEO optimization, and I want AI optimization. Like, I'm telling AI everything I want from this specific iteration with them. And then I say, then ask me clarifying questions. So when I put this, I drop the slides from the presentation. I put 2 or 3 links from other blog articles that are similar that I wrote already with AI. So as examples, and I paste the whole transcript of this video. And then I hit enter, and that's the prompt. And then that goes to AI, and AI does the iterations, and it starts saying, okay, now I have some questions. Who's the audience? Is this for owners? Is this for marketers? Is this for HubSpot users? Is this for SEO experts? Who is this for? So it knows the level of complexity and who the audience is. Then it asks me for tone and all these things. And then I start iterating with AI and I ask AI, how is this content that we created? Tell me, how does it rank for humans, SEO, and AEO? And it tells you, oh, it's 9.5 for humans and 8.3 for SEO. And I'm like, okay, why 8.3? What else can we do to keep optimize it? So you keep iterating until you find that you get closer and closer to creating content that's great for humans, great for SEO, great for AEO, and then you can post it. That is AI-assisted content that comes from reality, from humans helping humans, but ends up being an incredible piece of content that helps your AEO strategy grow. Does that make sense? Good stuff. Nishkarsha says, I've been using this prompt you had also shared in a previous session. Yes, for some of the webinars we do, and it has worked great. Yeah. Also added some post-webinar landing page structure guidelines. Amazing. I love that someone's using it. Good job. Good job. And please, if you find a better prompt, please send it to me. Probably my prompt already has other things that I included, and I didn't update it, but I usually do this, slides, transcript, some articles, and that usually does the trick. So thanks for sharing that. Amazing that people are using it. That's awesome. Humans helping humans. That's it. So reframing your website, then shift from content to answers. Your blog articles your title should be some kind of a question that someone's asking, and the first paragraph of your blog needs to be the answer. And then every H2, which is the subtitle, needs to be a question or something related to a question. And the answer should be right there, not in 3 paragraphs. The first 60 words right after the H2. So start thinking on how to structure your blog articles, structure your pages, structure your FAQs. So it's easy for AI to understand what the answer is to each one of those questions. write more on conversational content, not so much scholar. Again, if you're a university, you need to do scholar content. But even doctors and engineers, we're having them write conversational content with Q&A, so AI can pick it up. So think about that and how much you can use it. And then social feeds AI signals. It's like you can post questions and answers on social. Like you literally put the question and then an answer. That's the post. And if you do this on Reddit and LinkedIn and other social networks and communities related to your industries, you'll send the right signals to AI: consistency, authority, human interaction. All these things are validation that you're doing the things out there. That's why multi-channel works and helps. And just to show some of the results that we've seen, this is, again, one of the questions. The first one is a Reddit post I did. The second one is a Reddit video I did. The third one is a video on YouTube. And the fourth one is our website page. 4 out of the 5 things that are shown on the first page of Google to a question related to HubSpot and AEO are things I've done in multi-channels. And I'm showing the Perplexity sources links because I love using Perplexity to see what those sub-queries are, to understand, because it shows you what it asks. In this case, it was like, okay, I asked, how do I identify trustworthy HubSpot agencies that do AEO? I want clients to end up in my website with that question, to be the source of that. So it asks HubSpot agency selection, AEO marketing agencies, user preference HubSpot AEO, B2B marketing agencies HubSpot, past questions about AEO agencies. And then it went like searching for web, and it did HubSpot solutions directory AEO agencies, how to evaluate HubSpot partners. Like literally all those questions are the sub-queries that you could write content for. So Perplexity and other LLM, large language models, other AI models, are asking sub-questions. So if you answer those questions with social posts and blog articles and your webinars, then you can become the citation with consensus for those. And you can see at the bottom, some of the sources are my Reddit posts or my website or things like that. So this is kind of how it works, and to show you the results that actually works. You can see also LinkedIn posts that here, the question, are webinars good for AEO? LinkedIn posts are becoming the source. YouTube videos are becoming the source. This is the multi-channel strategy. You can see how FAQ blogs are becoming also the answers. And it's all about multi-channel. If you do it, you put the webinar on YouTube, you put the webinar on your website with HubSpot videos or Wistia, then you write a blog article and you write a LinkedIn post and a Reddit. Like that consensus helps you become the trustworthy answer. And then you can become the actual answer on Google and AI. And when I say Google, Google is also an AI model, right? It's Gemini, it's Google, the AI overview at the top, and AI mode. Sometimes you're Googling something and you're on AI mode and you don't even know how you ended up being there. That's what's happening. And Google are going to be sent to Google AI and Gemini. And Google will continue to shift from links to an answer that has links, right? Any questions about these examples? And also social, it's incredible. Even posts, I gave this as an example because it's a great example of a blog that didn't have a lot of exposure. This is a LinkedIn post that got 155 impressions, nothing, right? Like 155 impressions is nothing. But because I'm answering the question and there's consensus with the multi-channel strategy, then you see how it becomes the actual citation for, in this case, Google AI overview. So think about not just the impressions or engagement that you get on social, the same way the impressions and the visits and the people that come to your webinars. You know, I posted the other day, run webinars with 0 people. I don't care. Doesn't matter if you get people. Now, if you get people on your webinar and you get real questions, those will be, you can use them as part of your content. That's great. But if you run webinars with 0 people, that's still very valuable content you can use for your AEO strategy. you can use to generate the right type of AI generated content and avoid the AI content trap. So it's not an excuse that nobody wants to show up to your webinars. It's not an excuse that you have no people looking at your LinkedIn posts, that you've never posted anything on Reddit, because it's not necessary. What's necessary is for you to do this multi-channel strategy consistently. I talked about this at the video bootcamp this morning. I ran the video strategy bootcamp for Loop Marketing, Sales, and Service. It's a 6-week HubSpot Academy course. And I was talking about this. It's like consistency is one of the most important things in any of these efforts, in business in general. But if you're going to do any kind of marketing, blogs, videos, podcasts, consistency is not about one-offs. It's not about viral stuff. Yes, there's a whole world of that. It's about consistency of valuable, engaging, educational, entertaining content. The entertaining is an extra. If you can entertain, people are not bored, awesome. Make a joke, make people laugh. I try to do that as much as possible. But it has to be educational. It has to be valuable content. You have to be helping people. Humans helping humans. You do that consistently, and I don't care what you're doing, you're going to get better every time you do it. So thank you, Melanie. Says Gabriel's Loop marketing course is terrific. Great for video tools and strategies and broader marketing best practices. I appreciate that, Melanie. And thank you for showing up here today, too. I love it when people come. More humans helping humans. I love it. I love it. Great for the feedback. Thank you. Thank you for that. So this works, guys. It works. Just consistency. Just don't get hung up on, oh, nobody liked my post, or nobody showed up to my webinar. Just do it consistently. Humans helping humans. And the more you do it, more people will show up, more people will like it, more AI will become interested in it and use it as the answer for AI. So let's talk about some key takeaways from today's presentation. The brands that win are the ones that stay human and AI understands, trusts, and repeat. Just remember that. Stay human and help AI as much as possible to understand who you are, what you do, who you help, et cetera, et cetera. More content is not more visibility. Authority and trustworthiness wins. AI is shaping your pipeline even before traffic happens. So make sure you try to control that narrative as much as possible. Multi-channel, real content. If AI can't explain you, it won't recommend you, right? So you need to answer those questions as much as possible. You don't need more content. You need better signals, and you need consistent content. Consistency is important. Video plus transcripts plus FAQs is how you train AI what to say about you. And again, use the tools. Use the AEO grader. Use the different tools. I'm even going to share here. I'm going to share an article we wrote about all the HubSpot AEO tools you can use from one of our other webinars that we run from the SEO to AEO strategy. So let us know if you have any questions. Rate us in the chat. I'm going to share some resources in a minute. Tell us 1 to 10, how did we do? If we can do anything else to help you, please, we are here to help. I'm going to share the next 2 events, links again. All the recordings from all the events are going to be in this address. Thank you guys for the feedback. If we can do anything to make these better, we need to know. We want to know. I'm going to share the guide, the next events, like I said, the guide, the audit, and if you have any questions, if you want to connect with me, I'm going to share my LinkedIn, our website, and my email in case anybody wants to connect. I'm here to help. We have some time, so do you want to go into any questions? We have an audit too. We can run audits for you directly. So let us know if we can do anything to help you. Any questions, guys? Anybody wants to come up mute, ask some questions? You want to put it on the chat? I'm here to help, guys. I'm going to stop the share here. Anybody wants to raise their hand, ask any questions related to this, related to the bootcamp? It's all connected, guys. So, any questions? I still see like 20 people. Maybe half of you guys are humans. Half of you are probably robots recording this. But anybody has any specific questions on the chat? There you go, Taylor. What tools do you like for finding queries you could answer on your website, like SEMrush or Hrefs? Yeah, we're starting to human. Yeah, April. Please, let's go for humans. More humans, less machines. Speaking of the tools, I'm going to say one of my favorite tools is HubSpot, and Breeze allows you to do that. If you have the CRM data, if you have your CRM doing what it should be doing, if you're recording all your sales meetings and all your tickets from customer service, and all of that's going, all the transcripts going into HubSpot, that is invaluable information, right? You don't need to talk to anybody, right? You don't need to use any tools. You go to HubSpot, you go to Breeze, and you ask. What are the questions that people are asking? What are the objections that people are having on sales meetings? All these things are super, super powerful. Now, you can also ask AI. You can just go to ChatGPT and ask what are the questions that people are asking about these things. That's free. You can start with that. Now, the AEO grader, it's a great tool because you can put your entities, the name of your company, your industry, your services, and all of that gives you pretty much what your competitors are doing, where you are, what your gaps are, some of the opportunities for things to write content about. And then talk to your salespeople, talk to your customer service people, Taylor. I would say that is the most impactful thing. If you can talk to clients, salespeople, and customer service people and say, tell me the 10 questions you get all the time. That is very powerful because that's the reality. That's why if you have it in HubSpot and you can use Breeze, that's amazing. Of course, SEMrush has a lot of new tools that we're starting to use, and they're great. And HubSpot now with the AEO strategy tool that's launching right now that is in beta, it's going to allow you to see a lot of those gaps. So keep an eye on that, Taylor. But definitely a lot you can do right now, even without going into SEMrush or Hrefs. We're about to launch, this is April, we're about to launch our HubSpot customer agent. Oh, beautiful. On our website, very curious to learn what people are going to ask. Yes, what's great about the customer agent is that you put the bot there. It's easy to set up. First of all, it takes 2 seconds to set up. And then you train it with your website, your blogs, your knowledge base. You can train it with your own PDFs. And then people are going to start asking questions. And all those questions that the AI cannot answer, that HubSpot Breeze cannot answer on your public website, they will show up as gaps inside your HubSpot account. So you will be able to check every day, what are the questions that people are asking that the AI couldn't answer? And you can literally write an answer and just hit enter. And now that becomes the training for HubSpot AI to actually answer on the customer agent. That is a very powerful tool. You can drop a PDF with all your procedures and answer the questions without and knowing what questions are. So super cool stuff, April. Good luck with that launch. Keep us posted. Anything else, guys? Any other questions? I love when we have extra time and we can answer some questions here. Anybody else doing some cool stuff with agents or chatbots and HubSpot? Any questions about HubSpot too? And all the tools that are happening now. HubSpot launched like 1 million tools last October. So if you haven't looked at it, you probably have 100 extra things you can use. You can use Content Remix to build a bunch of different content from one. You can use Breeze to get intelligence from your data internally. There's a lot of AI layers and features you can use inside HubSpot. All right, everybody. I see still 18 people. Hopefully, some of you are humans still. Any other questions? All right. Thank you for connecting. Bye, guys. Take it easy. Have a great week. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. If you're a bootcamp person, we'll see you next week. And let's stay in touch. Register to the next one, and we'll stay in touch. Okay. Take it easy. Have a good one.